But even like say in the most fancy gyms, would you say that those, those hoist ones where the machine rocks and stuff?
Oh yeah, they're weird.
Would you say that that's any better than
it's not. No, but it just looks better, or it might feel. You might think, oh, this is fun. It's more of a gimmick type thing. And then sometimes too, you're paying for those gyms where maybe it's the equipment, maybe it's the lighting, maybe they have different things on in the gym. So your memberships are a lot higher for, Sports Club LA, because they'd have like a restaurant in there and they'd have masseuse there and all this sort of stuff. So you're paying more for the other crap. Oh, that flat pad. Who invented that? There we go. Very good. And even if you're laying down, you could do one leg, but then just keep that leg there so it doesn't hit the pad. But, even though you're not lifting with that leg, you'd have to move it. I was going to start back with legs on Monday. I won't have to now. I won't have to do legs for another 2 weeks after this. Oh, but the flat one doesn't feel bad, but I don't feel the difference between the flat or the round. I'm not a complainer, Sam. I'm a doer. I'm a doer.
But also too, compared to what you would have trained on over the years, especially in the early days, you can't complain.
No. It's like, I think it's like anything. People have more choices and more options, and they complain more.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, back in the day, it was this or nothing.
Yeah.
So you had the old pec deck, and that was it. Really, we didn't have. For back in the old days, your machine choice was pull down, seated row.
Yeah.
Everything else was dumbbell rows, barbell rows. We didn't have many back machines. But now people have been spoilt. And it's almost like when the machine's made, it's like, I don't like it. It should have been made on this angle. I'm like, they're not going to make a machine for every person. Everyone's going to have something they don't like about it, but you just make do. And what you've got will work. So stop complaining. I think that white mark there's my skin. My DNA come off on the machine.
And back to the, when you're like, you see some of the pictures and videos of the early gyms you trained at.
Very basic.
Look, when would have been the first time that you actually used a machine other than...
When I went to Gold's. And I always said, because our machines for back in Australia when I was younger would have been a pull down, and then it would have been just, close grip or wide grip or reverse. So your options would have been the bars.
Yep.
And there weren't many of them anyway, so it would have been the one bar
where
you just do close, wide, reverse. And then, like I said, the seated row bar, you might put up on it and do that, but everything else was dumbbell rows, barbell rows.
Yep.
When I did go to America, I went, I don't have to do barbell rows. There's a row machine. So for a long time, because there were so many machines, I did machines for a while, that when I went back to the basics, oh my God, I was like a beginner again, because the machines are good, but you're not using all your stabilizing muscles and that sort of thing. So I've always said it's good to do a combination of machines and free weights, back and forth. If you've got injuries, maybe more machines, but if you can do both, do both. So yeah, but I went machines for like 6 months and no free weights. When I went back to free weights, danger, Will Robbins. It's like you had to learn how to stabilize it again. Well, it's like if you squat in a Smith machine, it's good, but it's taken all that balancing out of it. You go out of a free weight, you got to use the stabilizing, all those little core muscles have to come into play. So do a combination of both. So yeah, but everyone is spoilt these days with the different machines you have in gyms. So stop stop complaining and just do it, people.
And I guess so. Say for someone that's watching that's training from
Yeah.
home or in another country where it's
Yeah.
not as wealthy as Western countries and don't have access, you can still like if
My best workouts have been at home because I can focus better. And I've always said, you know, when I had all the power tech gear and stuff at home, that's all I used for my first pro win. I just focus better at home. And you can do everything at home that you can have, you know. Sometimes it's good to go to the gym maybe just for socializing and being around people. Sometimes you got to go there. But my best workouts have been at home on the basic equipment because you do the basic exercises. Even these, you can do different things on them. Like it just showed you there, you can do the standing, the lying leg curl, you can do your leg extensions. You can even, you know, so.
But even, so say if
I think in people's minds, I think they've got to go to a gym, a commercial gym to grow, but you don't.
So say if you were still at that gym in Newcastle, the first gym, do you reckon you still could have built a physique?
Easy, because I first trained at home with the basics, but then I went to Nautilus Newcastle. So Nautilus had like a pec deck, they had the Dorian pullover. So they did have a few machines, but they still weren't, they had like a chest press machine, but
that was it.
Universal had one, but the rest was just dumbbells, incline, flat. They had one of those station, like Universal, you know, the silver ones, where it had the pull down on one side. They had a universal leg curl, leg extension, just with the flat bench, so you could actually lay on it. And then had the shoulder press, the back machine, and I think legs on and a dip and chin on the universal multi-station. That was pretty good. But everything else was, just dumbbells, barbells. They had a squat rack. And I think the Nautilus ones, they had the Nautilus leg adductor. Then they had a Nautilus leg extension. That was all chain driven. They had a Nautilus chin and dip where it had a weight stack where you could put the belt on to do that on. And then you had like a universal big leg press. Yeah, but they said like the universal had the pec deck and then you could do redelts on it as well. But they weren't like, oh my God, you walk into gyms now, the variety. And even like now, even in America, because Guy just fitted his gym out and did, I think like they have all the different brands of equipment now that are better than others and what they can do, rowing type back ones now. And some they have where you can slide the handle along to make it easier or harder. So you can do a set and then move it and it puts the weight in a different angle. So as much as I like it, I think we're getting too technical. You know, like I said, I could go into the bush. When I was younger, and I packed my flat bench, like I think it's one of those Weeder home benches. So you could go flat and incline and like the little bar with the weights, I took that. And then a lot of the time I was just doing dips between the bench and a tree stump. I was doing chins. I'd put the four-wheel drive near a tree and put the bar across. Or if you can just find a tree that has a good branch, you can do chin-ups on it. So all the basic stuff, then you're doing barbell curl, dumbbell curl. I did squats just by throwing the bar over my back and doing lunges. So really, if you got a bench, some dumbbells, like I said before, and barbells, you can do your whole body. But yet you're thinking, I need machines, you know, because sometimes, I've said it before, I could be looking back at the old bodybuilding books from Arnold's day, the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, pro-style bodybuilding with Tom Platz on the cover. And there were so many basic exercises that I forgot about. You look back and you go, oh shit, I forgot that exercise. Because we go to gyms and you go, oh, there's a machine, you forget about all these good basic movements that are just basic that you can do at home.
Probably one of the most basic gyms, Lou Ferrigno's in, and is that fair dinkum? Is that, did you ever go there?
No, but something like that was like similar to where I started with the Police Boys Club.
Yeah.
It was just barbells, dumbbells and a bench here and maybe had a push down sort type thing, but everything was just so basic.
And is that fair dinkum? He trained there most of the time?
So. Yeah. Some of those old barbell clubs that look like that, it's just very basic.
Yeah, because you look at, if you know, I'd love.
It almost looks like a home gym.
You know, if someone knows if that's true or not, you know, you don't know whether it was, you know, a bit of Hollywood to, you know, make out.
A lot of people when you see starting out, might have had a home gym or a garage gym where all I had was like the basic bench, like I said, the plates, the barbell, and some dumbbells. And the dumbbells might have been the ones you just had to screw together. And stuff like that. So yeah, but yet you could build a great physique with that. Look at people in jail. They have the basics, you know. Sometimes if you don't have a squat rack, sometimes doing legs is hard because you've got to put the weight on your back. But even if you did higher reps and lunges and stuff, you can still get a great workout. So
and you look at Lou Ferrigno at that time and compare him now.
Well, have you ever seen those videos too where people, they'll be like somewhere like Africa or somewhere, and they've made the home weights out of concrete, and they got bars, and they'll be doing bench press on like maybe sands full of sack as their bench. And look how they look. They got great physiques, and they're just doing dumbbell curls. It might be just the bar they made and put a concrete block on the end of it. So I'm not sure how even the weight is, but you know, they make do. And like I said, if you want to do it, you can build a great physique just from doing the basics plus chin-ups and push-ups and body weight dips. You don't need all this fancy equipment that, okay, it's fancy, it's nice and clean. Some are chrome and some have all these different things and settings on them, but really it's still the basic movements just done on a fancy looking machine. It's like you can have a shit Datsun. You can take you from Sydney to Newcastle, or you can have a Ferrari. Yeah, the Ferrari's fancy and that, but it's still going to do what the Datsun does, go from Sydney to Newcastle. Yeah, that's all it really is. Or you can walk. Takes longer, but you can still get from Sydney to Newcastle, or a push bike. Or you can go on the train, Uber, many forms of transportation, but you get what I'm saying. You can still get there one way or another, but just depends how fancy you want to be in getting there.
You don't have to have fancy stuff.
No, you don't need, you know, $20,000 leg extension when this leg extension is going to do the same thing. The $20,000 one might have bells and whistles and have a thing you can connect your phone to it and that sort of shit, but in the end, it's just working your quad.
But even like say in the most fancy gyms, would you say that those, you know, those hoist ones where the machine rocks and stuff?
They're weird.
Would you say that that's any better than
it's not. No, but it just looks better, or it might feel. You might think, oh, this is fun. It's more of a gimmick type thing. And then sometimes too, you're paying for those gyms where maybe it's the equipment, maybe it's the lighting, maybe they have different things on in the gym. So your memberships are a lot higher for, you know, Sports Club LA because they'd have like a restaurant in there and they'd have masseuse there and all this sort of stuff. So you're paying more for the other crap. But if you just want a good basic gym, you can just get a good basic gym and you're going to build the same physique. It's almost like, remember the Rocky training in Russia, in the snow. Then you had Dolph Lundgren into high-tech equipment. And, you know, Rocky trained just as hard, but he just did the basic shit in a barn, the same sort of, you know, tricep pulling down the rocks on a rope when, you know, Dolph Lundgren had the tricep machine. And so, like I said, it's still going to work the muscle. And actually, I think the more basic stuff works it better. You're having to use stabilizing your muscles, you're using more, whereas a lot of these times the machine does it for you. So
look, I get the whole fancy gym thing. Like you jump on those machines, and they do feel.
They're good for us as we get older. It's good for the elderly because, you know, you might not have to worry about stabilizing, so they're a lot safer, and that sort of thing, and just moving a pin rather than I got to go pick up some dumbbells and change the dumbbells. So sometimes I get lazy now as I get older, and I use a machine.
But it's not like, so say with when you're doing a dumbbell exercise, you know, you've got to, you know, do a couple of reps till you get the right groove and then you've got to focus the whole way. And that's the for some, that's the fun part. Like you're actually, that's proper training where you whereas if you just jump in a machine, put the pin in the weight stack. I get it.
Even the other day I was doing chest. I was doing dumbbell presses. I think I went to 30 kilos, but then when I did it, put the dumbbell down, I walked over and hopped on, I think whatever it is, Techno Gym or whatever it was, and just had a light weight and doing the chest press in between. So I do a proper dumbbell set, then I walk over and do maybe 15 reps on a light weight on the chest press, just going back and forth. So but they're all good, so don't overcomplicate it, people.